G'day and welcome. This is a supplementary video of this planer. The full video is over on my other channel up in the top corner here, tools and stuff. That's my main channel, so that's where the full review is. In this review I'm going to do a runtime on this 2.5 amp hour battery. We'll also compare it to the 18 volt with a 5 amp hour battery, but it's mostly about the runtime and what happens during that testing. Something interesting happens. If you want to see this planer with this big beastie battery, check out the full review up in the top corner like I say, but let's get on with the runtime test. Oh, and if you want to win some stealth mounts that hold 40 volt Makita tools, then yeah, check out that video up there. Right, this 6x2 is a little bit wobbly, so I'm gonna cut it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the 18 volt and the 40 volt. I'm going to run a few lengths on this thing. There'll be a 5 amp hour battery on the 18 volt and a 2.5 amp hour battery on the 40 volt. I'll run the 18 volt at its full depth of 3mm and we'll run the 40 volt at its full depth of 4mm and see how they go. 3 meters long. Each pass 3 meters. Is there really any point in proving it any more than that? Okay, a lot of you are going to want a runtime test, and it's hard to do the same thing over and over again, exactly the same depth with a planer. It's sort of not really what you do. You change the depth all the time, you feather it off, all these sorts of things. So I'll just run this until I can't cut any further without it causing damage, hitting the nails in the bottom or whatever, and we'll see how that 2.5 amp hour battery does. It was fresh on before that cut. Anyway, let's do it. I can't believe how quick it is. It's just so good. It's not clogging up either. Number 4. First blockage. I was pushing it a bit harder that time. So that has done 12 meters so far, at full depth, still fully charged. Uh-oh. A lot of confetti on the ground. That was number 5. Number 6. It's 18 meters. 1 bar down. Who's going to give up first, me or the planer? 21 meters. Meters down to 2 bars. We're down to 1 bar. Oh, just don't want to go. Flashing. What do we get to? Is that going to be 30 meters? Or have we just done 30? I think the battery is overheating rather than depleted. It's always a bloody helicopter. That battery is very hot. Let's go see how hot. This battery is nice and toasty. How hot's it gonna be? See, it's still saying there is 1/4 of the battery life left, and I think this is just overheating. Let's take a look. 80 degrees Celsius. That battery is too darn hot. 175 Fahrenheit. That's one very, very hot battery. I'll go and cool this down for a bit. Chuck it in the fridge, eh? Chuck it in a Makita fridge. And then I'll carry on planing, I reckon, because I think this is going to come back to life for a bit. We might get another couple of passes out of it. It's on 34.5 volts, so it's dropped quite a bit. The battery's nearly done. Look, I mean, we've got 2 bars shown on each one, so yeah. Let's go cool it down, see how we go. Just to show you what the temperature of a battery, this has been sitting outside in the shade. Let's take a look at what this one's at. 20 degrees Celsius, which is basically what the temperature is today in the shade. So, it's gone up 4 times, 20 to 80. I'll now blow this through that battery and we'll just see if we can cool it after about a minute of blowing, eh? After about 30 seconds we're down to 69 degrees. These batteries have a lot of vents in them for cooling them down, and when they charge they blow air through the battery to keep them cool while they're charging. Most tool companies don't do that. The tool itself isn't really warm. It's slightly warm on this metal bit here. Plastic still feels cold. So it's not the tool overheating, it is that battery just sucking through the juice. Let's see if it now works again. Just that little bit of cooling. No. Still showing, flashing. Go chuck it in the fridge. Right, some time has passed, I don't know what, but we're getting late. I need to get this test finished. Let's see if this battery has cooled down. I know it's cooled down, it's only, it's not flashing anymore. We're down to 34 degrees, that's a bit more like it. One solid light now, instead of flashing. Let's put it back on, see how much we can get. kaput. Now I think that was 32.5 meters. If it wasn't, it'll show up on the screen here what it actually was once I've watched the video. But pretty impressive. That's at 4 millimeters, remember? So if it did 30 meters of 45 millimeter wide pine with a 2.5 amp hour battery, that 2.5 amp hour battery, if we multiply that, you know, we do 1 millimeter cuts instead of 4, do we get 4 times as much? I'm not going to test it, I'll tell you that. But if we did, that'd be around 120 meters. You probably wouldn't get that, but you might get 100. If you could get 100 meters at 1 millimeter on a 2.5 amp hour battery, when remember the batteries go up to 8 now, it's quite comfortable using this thing with a 5. So yeah, I think that's pretty darn good. I can't imagine there'd be too many times where you'd want to do 30 meters at 4 millimeters of depth of cut. That's quite brutal. If you are in the market for toxic pine chips, well, give me a call. I got a plenty.